Hello, welcome to Do Not Disturb. Today we are reading scary Reddit stories. It's just going to be a bunch of them today, just so we can spice it up a little bit. The first story is Don't Google Yourself horror story. This was made 5 years ago. Don't Google yourself. Why? Because you'll never know what you might find. One day, I was bored and decided to search for my own name on Google. I have quite a rare name, so I didn't expect to find many results. Imagine how surprised I was when I came across a website that had my full name in the domain. www.myname.com. When I clicked the link, it brought me to a message board. I looked at the profile of the website owner and found out that that person was the same age as me and had the same hobbies and interests. There weren't any posts on the message board, but I was intrigued, so I saved it to my favorites. It was about a month later when I went back to the website. This time, it had more content. There were some diary entries, mostly random things like, the weather was nice today, or I'm so bored in work, things of that nature. However, as time went on, I began to notice more and more coincidences. The person lived in the same city as I did. It struck me as rather strange that two people with the exact same rare name would be living in the same city at the same time. At one point, I noticed that the contents of the diary were quite similar to my own life. One day, I went to a baseball game, and when I checked that website the evening, I found that the owner of the site had gone to the same ball game. At first, I didn't think much of it. After all, tens of thousands of people in the city were supported at the same baseball team. They all supported the same team. It began to seem much more like a simple coincidence. Whenever I clicked the website, I would notice a little biography, details that seemed too close to comfort. For example, the owner mentioned their pet dog, and the dog's name was the same as the dog I had when I was a child. The website owner posted a picture of their car. It was the same model of car I had been driving when I was in college. They talked about eating at a certain restaurant. It was the same restaurant I had gone to all of the time when I was working at my previous job. One day, when I looked at the message board, people had written messages to the owner saying, "Happy birthday!" That day, it was my birthday as well. I decided to write on the message board for the first time just out of curiosity. I was going to wish the owner a happy birthday and tell them we had the same name. However, when I tried writing something, I realized there was nowhere to type your message. It wasn't a message board at all, just a static page. That's odd, I thought to myself. In other words, whoever owned the website had gone to a little of trouble to make it seem as if it was an actual interactive site, as if people were going out of their way to post on it, when in actual fact, all of the content must have been created by the owner. Why on earth would someone do that, I wondered. I decided to send an email to the owner. It read, "Hi there, believe it or not, we both share the same name. Nice to meet you." It was just a friendly email. The next day, when I tried to look at the website, I discovered that it was gone. It seems that it's been deleted. Then, I opened my mailbox. There was one reply. When I looked at it, a chill ran down my spine. It just read, "Found you." Oh, that is terrifying. And I'm sorry that I had so many pauses in the story. My camera keeps detecting something beside me, and it's literally just like my clothes like on the side, but it's detecting it as if it's a face, and like it's black because I have like a black dress over there, and it's freaking me out. It's freaking me out. But also this story was kind of freaky, and it was really good, and I really like it. I think that's crazy, but I feel like, honestly, if you're that dumb where you like go to a website and it has all of the same information as you, like same name, same city, same birthday, same like dog, same like car, like bitch, that person was stalking you. That's all that's happening here. But like the fact that the owner like went out of their way to make it an interactive site is crazy to me. Like I think that's what's most insane, because I thought it was an actual message board and the owner of the message board was just like posting stuff about OP to make it seem as if it was themselves while they're actually like just stalking OP. Because I thought that's what was happening, is that they were just stalking OP. And like the found you at the end, I'm a little confused because I feel like they know everything about this person. But maybe they were just saying stuff of the past to try to get that person to come out of hiding so that they can stalk them again. That's where my conclusion is like they're trying to keep stalking that person, but they lost them sometime between college and now. They had lost that person, so they wanted to catch up and find that person again. And so found you is like terrifying. I'm like, found you? What do you mean? What do you mean found me? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm sorry, I'm like scared. I'm like, that car, whoever honked their horn, if you didn't hear that, whoever honked their horn, I'm gonna find you, because that was mean. That was mean. Okay, let's go to the next Sorry. Okay, let's go to the next story. Next, we're gonna read a stalker story posted 11 years ago called "My First Serious Boyfriend Stalked Me for About 5 Years After I Broke Up With Him." Now, this one hits a little close to home because I've been stalked. If you have seen my like True Stalker Stories podcast episode, I've been stalked like 3 times. And so every single stalker story is like especially scary to me because like luckily with those stalkers, it's not like their goal was never to directly harm me, because like luckily I either stopped it or like it was just like a growing obsession of like love. Like it was never like, oh, they want to put me in harm's way type of stalking. So I never necessarily had to worry about that. But like, it's just crazy to me that people actually just go out of their way to stalk people. Like, that's crazy. And like, for them to get so parasocial about it too is what's really insane to me, because I've had 3. Okay, 3. And one of them, okay, like 2 of them, like it kind of understood. I kind of understood why they were stalking me, because it's like, yeah, like one of them, like he was in my class. I developed a crush on him. He developed a crush on me. It was like a whole thing, right? But like one of them, he stalked me, but all I had ever done was literally be nice to him. Like literally probably said hi, and like he was crazy. It could have blown out of proportion if I did immediately. Like I immediately clocked the signs, because I was already stalked 2 times before that, okay? I was already stalked 2 times before that. And like I've been harassed by multiple people, more than 2 and more than 3. So like when I clocked the signs that he was gonna turn into a potential like stalker, I was like, yeah, let me tell a teacher. I told a teacher immediately, and I told a teacher that I trusted and knew that she would do something about it, because like he had done like one thing that was already like he took my folder, right? He took something from me, right? That was really important to me, and he knew that, you know, because like I was always like working, and so like I had a homework folder with like my student council stuff, my theater stuff. I had like everything in that folder, and he took that. What? Why would you take that? And so I told a teacher, I told my student council teacher, because I knew she would put a stop to it. And she did. She clocked that T, and I didn't have to deal with him afterwards. Yay! Okay, let's get into the story. My first serious boyfriend stalked me for about 5 years after I broke up with him. The reason I broke up with him is because I noticed him becoming increasingly possessive and controlling. This worried me a lot, and I was really young. He was older than me, so I decided to get out. The breakup itself was so brutal. He cried and screamed and begged. Initially, after the breakup, his behavior seemed like harmless actions of bitter ex, constantly texting and phone calls, sending gifts to my workplace, that sort of thing. After 6 months, when it hadn't died down, I started bumping into him on my way home from work, or when I was just out shopping, so I ended up moving. I couldn't leave my job immediately, but moving house didn't seem to make a difference anyway. This behavior continued for years. His behavior became increasingly worse. I'd rather not go into detail, and the police were not really doing anything. I moved every 6 to 9 months and changed jobs twice, but somehow he managed to always track me down. I didn't use social media and even insisted friends of mine did not take any pictures of me just in case they posted them on social media. And I kept my phone number within a close circle of friends, but somehow he always managed to get my new number. I ended up being a paranoid wreck, thinking that one of my friends had betrayed me or that my phone company had listed me in a phone book, and all sorts of crazy thoughts. Then after another year passed, our encounters got worse. Again, I'd rather not go into detail. I decided to report him to the police again, and this time they took some action. At this stage, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't concentrate at work. I was a shell. About 2 months after I reported him to the police, I woke up in the morning to a story in the newspapers about a staff in the National Tax Office using resources improperly. My ex was the main perpetrator, using his job to access all of my information. In his job, he had access to my tax records, which meant every time I changed jobs, address, or phone number, he had access to the most up-to-date information. Before the court case began, he committed suicide, and I'm not ashamed to say that I cried with relief. They were the worst years of my adult life. Oh my gosh. Why was that so? That was scary. That was terrifying, but in the most brutal way. That was just damn. He had a job at a tax office and used his job to find you everywhere you went. I'm glad he got caught. I'm really glad he got caught because that's insane. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't be glad that he's gone, but that is crazy. I hate when people cause so much harm to someone and then they do something like dying or something like that, and you kind of have to be oh, blah, 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 oh, sorry for your, no, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. He was insane, and I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. Hot take, I don't feel bad. And causing someone to have that much fear in them because they broke up with you is crazy. It's crazy. Story time. I think I've said this in other stories, but my breakup with my ex-boyfriend, right, wasn't great. Okay, it wasn't great. Okay, I did it because of mental health issues of him and me. We both just had so many issues where I was I think we both need to not be in a relationship, it wasn't out of I didn't love him anymore or blah blah blah. And he kind of went he kind of flipped the switch, and I was very shocked. I was oh, how can someone I just loved 5 seconds ago change into a completely different person that I can't even recognize anymore? And he was posting stuff online about how I'm an asshole and how I love, what's it called, love bombed him or something, just a bunch of crap. And I was I am a love bomber. I will admit that. I am a love bomber, but I mean it when I do it, okay? And it's kind of out of personality and it's kind of out of mental illness. It's not love bombing to me because I mean it. I mean it. I'm not love bombing because I mean it. It's not I just take that away from you. But anyway, and it's just it caused me a lot of pain afterwards because I was just afraid that maybe he would get so spiteful that he shares the photos of me because I sent him photos and stuff. And so I was oh, what if he ends up sharing those? What if he talks about our moments together? Just stuff like that. It's it caused me a lot of pain. And then I had my stalker too, who he was stalking me, right? And online harassing me, blah blah blah. But I didn't know that I knew him at first when he did this. But when I started to know who he was, or even before I knew who he was, I was terrified already because I was always terrified that I'll get another message, because the message were very violating and very sexual. like nature, and so like I was always scared that I would get another message. I was always scared at school because I was scared that he was like watching me secretly and I just didn't know who he was. At that time I didn't know who he was, and then when I found out who he was, I was afraid that he would go back to his like type of like online harassing nature, because like we became friends and stuff, and I was like, does he still only see me like that? Does he still, like, I was always afraid. And then like with the other two stalkers, there was one that like followed me to class every single day, and like when I would start leaving class earlier, he would start getting out earlier, or when I would start running to my next classes, he would start getting out of his classes early to wait for me at my classroom. And so I had to get my guy best friend at the time to walk me to class every single day to avoid this guy that was following me to class every single day and going out of his way to leave his class early to follow me to class or like walk me to class. Yes, that's great. But like, just in all seriousness, if you're a guy and you like a girl, or a girl breaks up with you or something, please don't become a stalker. Please, because it's not flattering, okay? And you're not gonna win. You're just gonna feel worse about yourself. You're not gonna win, okay? All you're doing is causing fear and hopelessness in that person's soul, okay? That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing, okay? I will never want to be near those people again. Like, other than like the stalker that I became friends with afterwards, like, and I still don't want to be around him, but like I still like I care about him and stuff, because like I had, people call it Stockholm syndrome, like that's what my friends call it. I just call it, I was already a very insecure person, and someone showing me such interest and like harassing me for like a year and a half online and like telling me I'm beautiful and blah blah blah. I was like, at that moment of time, someone doing that with how insecure I was, I would have found flattering, you know? I would have been like, oh my gosh, he's stalking me, you know? Because that's how mentally ill I was. But now it's like, yeah, let's just not ever meet again. Like everyone just let's not meet again, okay? let's stay far away from each other, okay? Thank you. Okay, let's go on to the next story. Okay, so I am doing another stalker story because it's here and I'm in the moment. I'm in the feel of stalker, okay? So this story was posted 11 years ago as well, and it doesn't have a title, so we'll just read. When I was 19, I met this guy who worked at a Subway near where I worked. He was nice, and he was a nice enough guy and took me out on a date. Everything started off really well, but about a week into it, he started asking me for money. It started off small at first, like a soda or $5 for gas. Then he started asking me for larger amounts, like a few hundred to get him by the week or so. I never gave it to him, but he started wanting to move in together within 2 weeks of dating. When we would go out places, he started to do very weird things. He would start screaming in public or singing nonsense at the top of his lungs. He would always play around afterwards that he was just having fun, but it was weird and embarrassing to be seen with him. Also, my dog, who loves everyone, would not let him near me. I've never seen a dog so much growl at another person, but he would try to bite the shit out of him when he came close to me. By the end of the second week, I broke up with him over the phone. I normally didn't do that, but at this time, his erratic behavior made me nervous. He completely flipped the fuck out. He started showing up where I worked to this point where my manager had to ban him from the building and coworkers walked me out to my car. He would show up literally everywhere I was, even to the grocery store or gas station. I started getting text messages and a weird email about how we were meant to be and he couldn't live without me and such. Then one day, he showed up in the middle of the night and told me to come outside. I told him to leave or I was calling the cops. He literally started sobbing to a point where he was almost hyperventilating. I went back inside and locked the house up. The next day, I was home alone just doing some work. At the time, I was in college when I heard some rustling at the front door. I thought it was just the dog messing around or the mailman or something, but then the dog started barking and growling. The doorbell began to ring. I didn't think much of it, probably just a solicitor. Then they started, someone started messing with the door handle. I grabbed a broom of all of the things because that was all I had and heard someone open the door. My dog tried to bite him and I locked myself in the bathroom and started screaming that I would call the police. He went up and ran away. I called my neighbor who lived across the street from me that was in the former military, and he checked out the house and made sure he was gone. My dog had a few scraps on him and cuts on him, but he was okay. I filed a restraining order the next day, and my dad took the liberty of calling his father and explaining what happened. I received a few other emails following that, but he never came to my house again. Luckily, I've moved a few hours away, and I'm married now, but it was still very frightening at the time considering it was only a 3-week period. Guys, that is terrifying. That is terrifying. I'm just terrified of dating because I'm terrified because I've already been stalked. And the fact is, every single time that I've been stalked, I was just nice to the person. I was just nice. Like, I wasn't dating them. I wasn't even friends with them. You know, I wasn't even friends with them. I wasn't dating them. I was just being nice. I was just being a nice human being. And they became so parasocial. Like, they don't even watch my online content or something. You know, like, becoming parasocial like this is so much easier because, like, you do know me. Like, you know me because I'm showing my personality. Like, I'm talking, like, that's why you are watching. So you know me. And, like, you developing a parasocial relationship would make more sense than someone in real life that I'm just, like, nice to. Just like, hi, like, nice to meet you. And, like, that you don't know anything else about me. And you just looked at me and you were like, you're nice to me? And then you start stalking me? Why? Why? Am I that beautiful? Thanks. But also why? But also, like, get the fuck away from me. You get what I mean? And, like, you dated for 2 weeks, broke up with him, and then he immediately did that less than a week after is insane to me. And the fact that y'all were both in college and, like, your own father had to call his dad to be like, hey, this is what's happening. I was, when me and my ex broke up, my parents were terrified because, like, okay, so I might have lied to my parents a little bit about my ex's mental issues, which, like, I didn't break up with my ex because he had those mental issues. I broke up with him because of my mental issues. And because of my, sorry, I was looking at a text message, because of my mental issues, because, like, I, deal with a lot of mood swings. Like, I have very rapid mood swings. For a little while, I was going manic. Like, I was having manic episodes, and I was just having very, like, I was having a difficult time. I was very, like, depressed, suicidal. Like, I was going through all of the motions. Like, my manic episodes involved me, like, harming myself, but, like, I would be happy when I was doing it. And so, like, I was in some next level deep of, yeah, my shit is hitting the fan. Okay, that's how deep I was in my mental illness. Like, my shit is hitting the fan. Like, I was very erotic. I was very hypersexual. Like, that type of vibe. Like, I did not need to be in a relationship. And he also had, like, mental issues too, where I only told my parents about one of them. Okay, I only told them that, like, he sees things. Okay, that's it. That's the only mental issues I told them that he had, right? But he has a lot more. Okay, he has a lot more. And once we broke up, I decided to tell my parents that because they were confused on why I broke up with him. Because, like, the same things, my stepdad wanted me to break up with him because, like, he's just like, I don't think you have to, because, like, we all knew I was mentally ill. Like, we all knew that. Like, that was, like, I went mute. Like, if I get too stressed, I go mute, you know, like, for multiple days, and I just don't talk, which is surprising because I'm a fucking yapper. So me not talking, huge warning. It's like a huge, like, oh my gosh, she's not talking anymore. Okay, what's going on? And I stopped talking for days. Yeah. And so, like, we knew I had problems. So, like, when I said, like, he sees things, they didn't want me to deal with that. But then, like, we broke up and I told them everything else, and they're like, you've been stalked before? Are you sure that's not gonna happen again? Because I was like, he doesn't want to see me, you know, like, he doesn't want to see me. And, like, I was right, and I'm thankful I was right, because it's like, that's so terrifying. After breaking up with someone, like, the fear is always like, oh my gosh, they're going to hate me, they're going to try to kill me. Like, that's literally the fear. Like, most girls, I feel like that's the fear that you have when you're rejecting someone or you're breaking up with someone, is, oh my gosh, they hate me and they're going to try to kill me. That's literally the only response you have, because literally that's all you hear about, because it happens so often. It happens way more often than it does. Like, why is it every 5 seconds? Like, every girl has a horror story. If every girl has a scary story to tell about, like, some guy, like, dating wise or like rejecting wise or like breaking up wise, there is something wrong. There is something wrong. And every single girl does have one of those. And it's like, hey, because my stepdad was like, he's going to set the house on fire. He's going to set the house on fire. And I was like, no, he won't. No, he won't. But at this time, I was still in love with him. Because, like, I didn't break up with him because I didn't love him. I broke up with him because, like, I'm crazy. And so, like, I was like, no, he wouldn't do that. And, like, he started, like, he flipped a switch. And I was like, you know, wait, I really don't actually know what he would do. I really don't actually, because I clearly don't know him. I clearly actually never knew him like I thought I did. Okay. Next story. This one is right under this because I guess we're staying in the stalker field today, babe. We're staying in the stalker, and then we're going to go back to a final scary story. Okay. Story time. I was in middle school, 8th grade, when formspring.me became popular. It's just one of those anonymous question asking websites for those who don't know. Anyway, I had one of those. And one day, Monday specifically, I started getting these creepy submissions saying stuff like, I watch you going down blank street after school all the time. And you're so beautiful, I want to R-word you so badly. Stuff like that. But at this point, it kind of just weirded me out, but I didn't think too much of it because it was most likely a friend of mine just screwing around with me. So I took down my Formspring site and went about my day. But the next day, I started receiving very creepy emails from someone I didn't know. They started to get really creepy, mentioning my teachers' names, asking me to meet them at the park so they could R me, and counting down the days I would die, Friday, and describing in detail how he would R me, then kill me, and kill anyone else that was with me. So I started getting really freaked out and blocking emails, but he realized this and started making new emails to send me every day. Every day, he would count down the days until Friday, until my death. I really didn't want to tell my parents this since I really thought it was maybe a joke, but I ended up breaking on that Wednesday after my school admissions and did nothing about it. They kept me from school on Thursday and Friday and called the police. The police eventually found out it was just some random quiet kid in my math class who I've never talked to nor had mutuals with. This was probably one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me, just because the emails were so descriptive and the kid was just really some random guy I didn't know at all. I was so young and all of my friends never took it seriously. I really couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, and I was always shivering from fear, I guess. Thinking about it just makes me really uncomfortable. See, this is what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh. I hate. Because this happens to me multiple times. I don't call them all stalkers. I don't. I only call 3 specifically stalkers because those are the ones I most remember giving me the most fear and the most like fight, flight, run, like type of scenarios in my head. Like those are the 3 that like really traumatized me and stuck with me. But I've had situations where like there's like a kid in my class, right? I don't know them. But they created like such bonds in their head with me to a point where like, if I didn't know their name or something like that, they would get so upset as if I knew who they were. And I was like, we've literally maybe talked once. And if we did talk once, I literally probably don't remember. I don't remember because that interaction was just an interaction. Like it wasn't like anything more than an interaction between you and me. Like there was no connection. There was no nothing there. And like that happening so many times to a young kid, like when it happened to me so many times, it really just made me afraid of like being out in public, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not afraid to like post online and stuff, because like if someone being parasocial with me, it's like being parasocial online is a lot different than being parasocial in person, where like it's not like they watch my content or watch my videos or something where they're getting to know me. It's literally like I said hi to them once and they're locked in. They think there's a connection, and they become really creepy in person. And like in person, you can do something, and it's like, it's terrifying to think about, because like a situation, this happened with me with one of my stalkers, the one of the three, because like he used to like email me. Like that was how it started. Like it started through emails, and then he started like going on Instagram to do it. So like through emails, he was sending me like, you look really pretty, like stuff like that. But then it was weird. It was like sexual, you know, like it wasn't like, oh, you're just pretty, you know, like it wasn't cute type of secret admirer. It was like creepy, like he's watching me. Like it was never like threats, you know, not like this where it's like you're going to die, which is insane. But it was more like, you're so sexy, like, you know, like stuff like that, you're hot. And, you know, that alone creeped me out, because it was just like, I generally just didn't know who it was, but I knew he went to my school, because like he knew what classes I had and stuff. And like, we had a class together, right? And this was going on for like a year. And then like I found out and then I started developing a crush on him, like organically. Like we started becoming friends organically, mind you. And then I found out who he was, and I was like, what? And I got really confused and stayed friends with him. But you know, that I digress. And like, but it started with emails and messages. And I feel like those emails and messages are just as creepy to someone, like, cause most people just think of stalking as like someone showing up to your house and like watching you, or like watching you where you go, like following your locations and stuff. That's not just what stalking is. Okay. There's more. There's other types of stalking. And that's like someone still watching you, someone still like, but like it can happen online too. It can happen online where they're messaging you. And I think the scariest type of stalking is when like you don't know who the person is, and someone is just messaging you, calling you, emailing you, random shit, but like you know that they know who you are and they know where you are most likely to be, but you have no clue who they are. Cause like most people, it's like their exes and stuff, and like they know who to direct like the restraining order at. They know who, like, it doesn't make it any less scary, but it makes it a lot more like efficient to stop, you know, because you know who that is. You know who the person stalking you is. When you don't know, I find, because like out of the 3 times I've been stalked, one of them I didn't know for most of the time when I was being stalked. I knew I was being stalked, I just didn't know who it was, and that was the most scary one. But that also happened for like a year and a half. So, you know, like, you know, pick and grain. The other 2 didn't happen that long, because I found my way to stop that shit, because I was like, I'm not having another year and a half situation. I'm not. If you like me, you better just tell me. You better tell me and get rejected quickly, or get accepted quickly. Okay? Because there's no way you're stalking me. Don't stalk me, okay? Don't stalk me, because it's not going to work out for you, okay? My mental health has gone up, okay? It's gone good, okay? So I'm not as insecure and delusional as I was before, where I'd be willing to even give you a shot if you stalk me and I am available. Like, I would not give you a shot. I would not. I don't care if you're the most fucking handsome Prince of Bel-Air, okay? I don't care. Anyway, we are going to go to our last scary story. Okay, the last scary story is called Run. This was written 5 years ago from Out of Tune 7. Run, run, run. And if you can't run, then walk. And if you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, don't stop. It's only been an hour since everyone on Earth, as far as I can tell, heard those same words. I was already walking through a park when I heard them. And after seeing what happens, I won't be stopping anytime soon. It's been 2 hours now. I kept walking. I'm tired, but stopping is not an option. Some people tired of driving, but the act of getting in a car requires stopping, even for the briefest moment. As those already driving when they heard the rules soon found out, it's impossible to move inefficiently in a vehicle, especially in a crowded city. Their screams kept me moving. It's been 4 hours now, and I'm exhausted, with the only thing pushing me forward being the fear of what awaits when I stop. And yes, I mean when. Proven by plenty of those around me, eventually I'll have to stop. Some have just given up, accepting their fate, only to immediately regret the decision. Some just couldn't take it anymore, and they couldn't take the screams. And most, simply, don't see the point of continuing. And with every step, I'm starting to become more like the latter. It's been about 6 hours, and for the first time, I saw what happens up close. I was walking aimlessly down an alley, trying to get away from the madness, when I saw a young man, no more than 16, crying. It didn't even register to me until he made eye contact with me that he had stopped moving. His eyes were bloodshot, and not just whites around his pupils. I mean the entirety of his eyes were crimson red. Black tears streamed down his expressionless face, and then he smiled. A wide, toothy smile that would have screamed of joy if it wasn't followed by animalistic screams that would give the biggest horror fanatic nightmares. I wish I could say witnessing his dying moments was the most horrific thing to happen to me today, but then it hit me. The realization that I had stopped moving. Ooh, that was good. That was a really good small thing. That was OP's first ever post on Reddit. That was a really good small story. Like, it realized to him, like, he stopped moving when he was, like, watching the kid. I like that. I really like that story. And I think that story is good to end on. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know this podcast episode is probably a lot shorter than usual. I know it's definitely not an hour, but I'm losing my voice, and I am going to have to film about 4 of these just in a row, and so each one might be a lot shorter than usual. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be leaving the country. I'm going to Mexico, so I'm leaving, and I just don't think I'll be able to film an hour of a podcast when I'm in Mexico, because I feel like that's going to be weird when I'm with my family and I'm like, hey, give me a second, and I film like a podcast, because I'll be there for like 2 weeks. So I'm going to try to get some podcast episodes out the way. If you guys haven't already seen some of my short films, I've been releasing short films. I've been doing Personality Mondays, Podcast Wednesdays, and Short Film Fridays. And all of those are really fun. I think you should watch them. If you enjoy my podcast, I think you'll enjoy me yapping on my like Grit Ready With Me's, or like reading Am I the Assholes. Like, I think you'll enjoy those videos as well, because it's also me yapping. It's also me just yapping, but with a lot more editing, and meant for you to sit there and watch. Or like you can sit there, watch, and like do other things. I don't know. Live your truth. You live your truth. I hope you enjoyed. I know this one was a little weird and hectic because I didn't have a singular story. I decided to just do multiple stories because I could title it Reading Scary Reddit Stories. So that's what I decided to do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. See you next episode of Do Not Disturb. Sorry for audio listeners. Yeah, you can't see me.